See, my fingers have already started to wear this off. Put a little scoring mark in there. Hopefully that'll keep it a little bit stable and where I want it to be when we go to file on it. Here's the problem with this too. This little thing will stab into your hand, and I do it so many times. You know, like being like a numbing stinging for a while. Maybe like 10 minutes. But during that 10 minutes, that's all I can think about. I don't enjoy doing it. So, what we're doing is, for $1.10, we're putting a filing on the back of it. Kind of like we put a filing on the back of here to give it a little more of a look to it, right? A little more of a decorative look to it. I'm actually gonna turn on chat so I can see if anybody's saying anything. If anybody's got any questions about, you know, I don't want to say decorating, but you know what I mean, filing on knives or anything like that, please be sure to ask. A lot of my goal here is just get people into it. The customizing knives. Customizing knives is fun. Not only is customizing knives fun, but since I do it with gemstones, excuse me, since I do it with gemstones, we can make some pretty unique things. Speaking of gemstones too, I actually got some gemstones I got to work on right here. This right here is a chrysocolla. It's a rough piece right here. Look at that. Do you ever know rocks could be such pretty colors, man? They pretty cool. I mean, look at that. I never knew there was such thing as a pink rock in my life. Before, you know, before I got in the lapidary. What we're trying to do though is, you see here, I'm trying to put a pattern on this lock bar for a knife, so that way whenever it comes time for this to be finished, it's just a little more extra, which I've also been working on. I don't know if y'all can see this or not. I've also been working on doing some engraving as well. So I'm hoping to get some engraving done on some of these knives for the future. Basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just making a little crease. I might have to move y'all back a little bit. I apologize. But we're just making a little crease right here so we can file it down and get a little notch in there. Only thing I need is just a little tiny notch. This one's a little wider and that one's a little smaller. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in on this one a little more, like this. The goal I want to do, so I want to make it look kind of like a tiger's back, kind of like there. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but kind of jungly, almost looks like tiger stripes on the back of this thing. If y'all like knives, if y'all like gemstones, if you like things like that, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Also, this is a little knife I did for a friend of mine coming up. This is real turquoise. Real genuine turquoise. So, pretty stuff. Let's see. What we're going to do is with this, we're going to tuck our scratch marks a little in, if I can get it to tuck in. This is one thing I do not like about live streaming, is it does kind of get in the way of what you're doing. So now, instead of just working on it normally like I would, I had to work on it a little behind the phone, which makes it a little difficult. As you can tell, I'm bumping that phone pretty hard. This is kind of aggravating. I would go out and cut too, but the problem going out and cut now is that it was thunderstorming. It was thunderstorming not too long ago, and I'm not about to go out there with running water and electricity in a tin shed. You know what I mean? Just doesn't sound like the brightest of ideas I've ever had. So we'll just stick to doing this. But I did have plans on cutting stuff for the live stream. But just, hey, the Lord had different plans for us. Hello, Mama Source. How are you feeling? There we go. That's a little piece right there. And what this basically is this is just the lock bar for the Buck 110 itself. So this is the Buck 110 all taken apart. I did polish the blade up. So I polished the blade up really nice. Hey, that's me behind the phone right there. But we polished it up pretty good. Looks beautiful. And we're actually going to do filing on top of this as well. So whenever that lock bar does sit back in here, it all matches up. So there's that. Our next thing now is we got our marks there, and I got a tiny mark here. I'm sure y'all could probably see it right there. Got a tiny mark made right there. Well, what we're going to do is these two are narrow. We're going to make the other two wide, and they're going to run opposite of the way they came. And for y'all who may be wondering, why am I not fastening? Well, my fastening arm is back with the company getting recalibrated and stuff. So that's why I'm not fastening, because I know a lot of y'all are like, well, if you're inside, why are you not fastening? Well, that's why. If you haven't, make sure to like and subscribe. It does help us out. Let's see. See, this is where it gets a little more difficult too. All right. I had to do certain angles to where y'all can still see, but I can still work. There we go. I am sure too, Mama Source. I believe the baby in the other room is giving my wife some trouble. He's been okay for the most part, but it's getting to be his bedtime, and he is not wanting it. He is not wanting it. And it could also be that it's bedtime and I'm not in there. So he's not happy about that. We're just going to make that a little deeper, a little more prominent. And we're going to make it run a little deeper too. So hey, Pen, how you doing, buddy? How's everything treating you, man? I ain't heard from you in a while. I'm working on a lock bar, but that's the axe I'm working on right now for a video. My hair's all messed up. But, yeah. What do you think about that axe? That was what it originally looked like right there. And I was like, well, I'm going to polish this sucker up. Make her look nice. I also cut my finger on it. Cut that one. I didn't even know about the pinky one. Thank you, buddy. I would grab the stone I'm going to put as the handle, but, well, it's out in the shop. But yeah, I literally just, my hand, I was locking the door behind me after closing the door, and I just dropped my hand down. And just my hand dropping down and hitting that axe for, just a fraction of a second left a pretty good mark there. So what we're going to do now is we have our small side, big side. Now we're going to go opposite. This is going to be big side. This is going to be small side. So what we need to do for our big side is we need to take our file and make our first indentation right there along it. Pen. I still got the pen I've been working on for you. It is not working out well at all. I went through so many drill bits, some diamond drill bits, that it is ridiculous. So who knows if it'll ever get done. Who knows if that thing will ever get done. But right now, I was like, all right, well, I'll just go work on something else. But just drilling through the whole, the whole piece of Kambaba, it I think I went through a few of them. Well, it's not here. Here's the good deal, right? It's something challenging, and that's what I like. I like to be challenged. So I'm going to keep working on it because I do like to be challenged. It's probably not going to look pretty. So when I do send it to you, keep that in mind. Probably not going to be the most beautiful thing you've ever saw. The gemstones will absolutely look good. Probably not the probably not the pin itself. And Laura recently gave birth to our little son. And that's, if y'all hear any crying in the background, that's him, because he's in the other room with Mama. Squalling. So, let's see if I can get you a little better view here. Thank you. He's a good boy. Big boy, too. My Lord, he come out with a 15-inch wide head. He was 22 and a quarter inches long. And he was 9 pounds and something ounces. He was a big old boy. I keep making a joke that the IRS already sent me a back tax notice on him. He's so big already. So this is the wide, right? So that's your wide there, because we did narrow, wide. So now we're going to do wide, narrow on this side, right? So in order to do that, and what I mean by wide is these scores are farther on the outside than these scores, right? Does that make sense? So, I'm going to go ahead and put our score mark here. Right there. And that's just a guide for me for the bigger ones. But it's funny because I've also... have you ever seen the file? Right, and Son's Knives. They have some neat... No, I haven't seen that. Do they have a website? This is actually one of the ones I did. This is real genuine turquoise too. This ain't the fake stuff. This is also real genuine turquoise. And these are knives that I made for a friend of mine who owns El Paso Rock Shop. Because he gave me some turquoise in exchange for a knife. And I was like, well, sure. I know the natural turquoise is pretty cool. It's definitely something. And here's some other gemstones that I cut. I got to get back out there and start cutting cabochons for y'all again over live, for sure. That's one thing I've been wanting to do. Like this, look at that. What about a knife handle made out of that? That would be something. So, but I definitely got to cut more stuff online. I'm thinking that'd be cool too, man. If anybody hasn't followed Pen and Pen Blades, he does some great stuff. He does some great reviews too. Good guy. So be sure to follow his channel. It's Pen and Pen Blades. But he'll review like fancy pens, which I actually kind of like. That's why I wanted to kind of make one, because I'm like, that looks cool. But then a lot of people use a lathe, and it's hard to use a lathe with gemstones, for gemstones. And then finding one that's going to accommodate a pen is pretty hard too. You know what I mean? But yeah, they definitely Oh yeah, that one's the which one? This one, right? You like that one? Yeah, and this is actually a barber's blade right here. I got some glue in there, some epoxy in there, which is kind of holding it shut. So I'm just waiting to where I can get to a point where I can monitor it and get some epoxy in there, or not epoxy, but some acetone in there, and loosen it up. But if I had some pliers right now, I'd take it out that way and show y'all. And you know what also I don't like about these files? I'm going to stab myself in the hand with these files. Like, constantly. And it don't happen as much as it used to, but it definitely will. I don't know if I've made it out of one single filing without just poking myself with this thing. So, and not that one specifically, because that one's actually got a pretty dull head on it. See, like that? That's a pretty flat, small head. It's always this one that I send straight into my finger somehow. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man. Oh, did I also tell you a pen? I'm looking into starting to do some engraving. Hey, Oddcat. Did Oddcat say something without me seeing it? But yeah, I've started working on doing some engraving, which, if anybody knows me, I'm a terrible drawer. I cannot draw to save my life. That's some of it. I'm just like practicing with my little engraver, getting the feel of it down. Well, that's it. I know I'm going to stab myself with this eventually on accident too. So, but one of the things is they teach you to push forward and then twist this little ball here to get that smooth circular look. And I cannot do that to save my life. Always stop. Always stop. You see those little, like, where it goes deeper there or there or there? It's because I've stopped the rotation after starting. You know what I mean? So, but I'm working on it. I got to learn how to draw a little better. I got to learn how to do a lot of things a little better. But that's, so with the knife and everything, I want to be able to engrave the knives and put patterns on them. And then, when I do a pistol, which I'm trying to find an old wagon wheel pistol, old, I call them wagon wheels, but just old revolver. And I want to put some mother of pearl, or probably just any gemstone handles at this point on them, and then engrave it. You know, I just want my stuff to stand out. I feel like I'm going to become Picasso, and nobody will like what I do while I'm alive. Then once I die, people will, maybe you went crazy. Maybe you did a pretty good job. But nobody will still buy it. They'll just be like, oh, look, that's kind of cool. But Picasso was pretty funny. I think so. I think, so pistol grip with gemstone handles, right? And then all, like, engraving marks all along it, would be pretty good. But, and it's been thundering and lightning around here, so little man's probably upset with that. I can hear him in the other room. Little man's probably upset with that. And when he gets upset like that, usually it's daddy that can calm him down. But I think that'll do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here, right? And I'm just going to put my marks in there. Oh, y'all had some storms not too long ago. I think ours is the tropical storm. I think it's a tropical storm off here. I don't know if you remember, we live in South Carolina and pretty close to the beach. So it's probably just one, because I think they said there was like a mock tropical, or not mock, but you know what I mean, like tropical depression, whatever they call it, that was going to come through. Probably missing me. He don't usually go to bed without me not around, so, or you know what I mean. Yeah, coming from the south, I think it came from the Caribbean. Oh man, I did mess up. It was supposed to poke this way, and this one's poking this way. It's supposed to poke towards that gap. I tell you what, let's see. Small, large, large, small. So large is away, small is inwards. That'll do. That will do. So the way I'm doing this is small is pointing inwards towards the holes, and large is going away. What I did is I did the next one that was supposed to be large, pointing inwards towards the circle, which I weren't supposed to do. So I kind of carried it on. But now, God bless, excuse me. But now, I got to y'all hear that thunder? Y'all hear that thunder? Thunder ain't no joke today. And I'm stair stepping it too. I hate that. There we go. Just a bite that stays with it. Yeah, I know, right? That thunder rolls in, son. I'm telling you. Yeah, I mean, it's a tropical depression. The last I heard, it was out there. That was like a week ago. A lot of things change in a week. My wife, she used to be scared about hurricanes down here. Anytime a hurricane comes, and I would tell her, don't worry about it. We'll probably lose power or something, but we won't, lose our home or anything like that. And we're up on the hill too. We're up on some farming land, so we definitely don't really have to worry about flooding all too much, other than being able to like get to the store or something, or goods getting in. So we, she's got a new rule now. She don't panic unless I start worrying about it, and that's her new rule. If I'm not worried with it, then she's not going to be worried about it. And I usually don't get worried, unless it's a category 3. And it's going to make landfall like relatively close to us. Yeah, probably working in that tin shed with all that water with the thunder and lightning probably wouldn't have been smart. I mean, I was never told I was a smart man to begin with, but This I definitely figured would not be intelligent. There we go. See, that's that inward, and I like that inward with the smaller one too, because it kind of conserves room. What I'll do with this knife is, so if y'all hold on for 1 second, I'll go get the stone that I'm going to use for this knife, because I think y'all are going to like it. It's chrysocolla. It's malachite and chrysocolla. It's really something special. I'll be right back with it. We're back. All right, here we go. So, ignore the like glossy finish on this. It's because I have some epoxy on it. See, I have some epoxy on it. But that is chrysocolla malachite. And that is what I'm going to use as the handle for the knife. So, I'm kind of looking forward to it. But that's beautiful stuff right there. And here's another piece right there. And what this is on top of it is epoxy. So what I did is I put epoxy on it, and that helps harden the stone, and it'll help it survive the cutting process of everything. And the little outer layer is okay to remove, from my understanding. What's not okay is it gets into pores, so it's like it hardens it. Yeah, fighting the summer cold. I know some people doing that right now. But that's definitely pretty stuff to work with. And I think, you look at that, that's going to look good. Especially with the filing on the back and everything. That's going to be something amazing. So, I'm looking forward to it. And the funny thing is this green stuff right here is malachite, right? Malachite actually has arsenic in it. Now, it's fine in its solid form. But in its dust-like form, it'll soak into your skin, and that's when you can get the arsenic in you. But from my understanding, that's also not enough to actually do much. But still, you know. And in it, like I said, in its solid form, that form right there, it's fine. Yeah, this form is fine. Once I start cutting on it and everything, though, that's when I can get into a little bit of trouble with it. And then once that's done, once it's all polished up and everything like that again, the arsenic can't seep through. So it's literally only in like its dust form, or when it gets mixed in with water, that dust gets mixed in the water. So, now we have to move away from the line. And we got to go to Franklin here soon. Franklin, North Carolina, for the Gem and Mineral Show. Arsenic. That is right. Arsenic. That green stuff is arsenic. Well, it's malachite that contains arsenic. That's why I always, after cutting, I always come in and wash my hands and stuff like that. Thank you. That's the hope, at least, is that it stays looking like a tiger pattern. But I mean, you know just as well as I do that it don't take long for a disaster to happen. Like that. You see that? It's a little too far out from there. And I don't like that. Yeah. Well, thank you. But I have an ink the color of turquoise. Do you? Huh. Where'd you get your is that a calligraphy pen ink, or is that a ball? You know what I'm talking about more than I do. Whenever it comes to that. So let's see. We got in, out. So this one will be out next. So what we're going to do. Let's plant out there. Okay. See, this is why I got to think a little bit before I start doing too much. But the ink itself, is it designed for like a certain style writing, I guess is the best way to put it. Let's see if I can scooch this out just a little more. Well, I know I'm getting pretty far along in it, because I usually don't start to get that screeching there until I'm pretty far along into the lock bar itself. There we go. We did an out. Now we need to do in. If I can do it correctly. David, you big old nincompoop. There we go. There we go. Now, we're going to make our inward circle. But yeah, we're going to Franklin again in July. And what we're going to do in Franklin is hopefully talk to that paleontologist again. I hope he's got some new stuff for us to see. If so, we'll probably film his booth and get some dinosaur bones and stuff like that, some meteorites to show off to y'all. I'd actually like to get some meteorite to do a knife blade out of, or not a knife blade, but a knife handle out of some meteorite. Golly, that lightning was close. Golly. Golly, that thing was close. Woo! Kick your heels up and shout, come on now. Come on now. Alright, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to take our wider one here, like this. We're going to put it into that groove there. And we're just going to work it until she sits in there real good. And then we're just going to push and grind until that hole's widened some. But yeah, I had plans to go out there and cut tonight, but Lord had different plans for me. What's that old saying? You make plans and God smiles. So, let's see. Dinosaur bone video would be really cool. We have one on there, on the channel, of us talking to him and him showing off like a mosasaur skull and stuff like that. And it's even got the... so the mosasaur skull has two mouths, right? So you got your big mouth here, and then you got your second little mouth here. And it's supposed to be like a... it almost looks kind of like the alien's mouth off of Aliens. An Alien. I agree, Pan. Really enjoyed that video. Do another one this year. Yeah. I mean, it's. I'm hoping to get some more stuff out of him. Like actually, like not like materials or anything, but to show him stuff. I know he's gonna have some dinosaur bone fragments. I'm thinking about buying one and then doing a giveaway of the bone fragment. So that way we can give somebody a piece of bone or even a tooth or something. Just something that we can find that's a fossil and give it to the people, you know. Because during the winter I can't really do much cutting because it requires a lot of water and I'm not good when it comes to being cold. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like a way to let the audience also know, hey, we're back. The summer's here. It's warm. I can start cutting again outside. Because I know some people really aren't too big of the faceting things, which I love faceting. It's fun. But I know y'all aren't really, a lot of y'all aren't really too big into it. So it's just like a way of going, hey, we're back. You know? We're back and the summer's here and we can start doing knives, and I would hope, Lord willing, that I will at least be doing some par engraving. So engraving that is somewhat something I would be okay with showing. And maybe start putting some stuff out there for that too. You see that little hole right there? I want to make sure I do not get this too much towards that hole. So I don't need to dig too particularly deep with this gouge. And you may ask, why? Why? Because you're not going to put that locking pin back in to go through that hole. This is the locking pin area for that hole to go in. Well, I am going to put it back in because that's your pivot pin. That's where you're going to pivot the lock bar, right? I am going to put it back in. And if I break this, right, if that snaps on the top there, I'm afraid that that metal will bend instead of actually opening up or taking this little piece right here and lifting it up, right? And there's a reason because of that. You see that little gap right there? I don't know if you can see it. See that little gap right there? Well, that right there goes into that gap, and when it's locked like that, it can't push back anymore because that metal's pushing on that metal right there, which is pushing on that metal, right? But in order to close it back up, right, because it's locked in a little joint here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but y'all can see right there where that little lip is. I'm probably not doing this right. Where that little lip is right there, that's where that little extra little nodule there sits in there, so it can't move forward and it can't move back. So that blade's locked. Well, if this breaks and bends, then there ain't enough of this moving here for it to unlock. So but I do want to put a deep enough gouge to when I start working on it more, you know, as in cutting the gemstones to fit exactly for the knife, that it will sit correctly and it'll be flush with everything. So, and I'll probably do a video finishing this knife. So, probably do a video on that. And speaking of, I'll probably take a little bit of a break with this knife right here. And it's the last, because I don't plan on doing more than an hour of a live stream with y'all. And we're coming up on the 46-minute mark. But I did want to do a little practicing for my engraving, which y'all some. Kind of show y'all I'm not kidding with this. This is pretty tough. One of the things I kind of like about it, to be honest, it's hand engraving is not easy, and I don't like easy. If somebody can do something easy, then it doesn't really sound fun, you know. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and cut just a little piece here with our shears. Doesn't have to be a huge piece. Oh shit. I'm trying to look through the camera and do this. Don't want to clip too far into the other piece. This right here is copper. Copper. There we go. I was like, I know for a fact. This right here is copper. May have. There we go. And it's. I bought copper because it's cheap to work on. You know what I mean? So I may have to move these little nodules. See these little nodules? They come out and you can actually place them back down like that. I like copper too. I think people don't appreciate copper so much because it's, number one, it's you know, I don't want to say less than valuable metal, but you know what I'm saying. People don't really value it as much as obviously silver and gold. But I like copper too. And that green ring that copper leaves on people, everybody's, oh, I'm allergic to copper because of that green ring. Usually not really the case. From my understanding, the reason why that copper leaves that green ring on people is not necessarily due that you're allergic to anything, more that your body absorbs copper, and when it's, your body basically tells you, hey, I'm done taking in copper, I've got enough, it leaves that green ring around you, and that's it. Can't absorb it anymore. Now, is that true? I have no clue. It was just told to me by a fella, but you know what? I'm going to go with it because, you know, copper takes a bad rap. Come on now. You stay in there. You stay in there now. We're going to lock it in a little tighter too. See if it'll lock in like that. There we go. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to take that flat part right there. You see that little V right there? We're going to take that flat part, that's our head, and we're going to put it up there. And we're just going to rotate. And that's just a rotation. See if I can get this to pan down more. Here we go. That's just a rotation. As you can see, it leaves these little flat spots if I mess up. So if I don't keep that turn continuously going, it's going to leave flat spots in it. And this little thing of the smell it leaves on your hands, I haven't heard that, but I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I've always heard the green mark and then them thinking it's an allergy, which usually it's not. It's just the green mark. But I can believe the smell on your hands too. I've actually kind of gotten used to the smell of copper because I'm always around it. So it could very well could be. But like that, almost stabbed my hand right there. But it did rotate better. See, that one's a good one. That one's a good one right there. Okay. No, you see how that's got this little stop marks in there? No stop marks. Went right through. But not deep. Right? And I want deep. I want deep and good. And that's my problem. Right? So I need to learn how to rotate this and not stop while pushing forward. Ooh, just like that. Look at that. A lot better. That looks a lot better. But it's a learning process. I know it is. And just keep a constant pressure on it. And then I know also that I don't know. I haven't looked into that. Could be. If that's the case, I'm going to get a whole back piece made out of copper. If that's the case, I'm definitely going to do that. Because I got arthritis all in my back. And it's because I chose to join the Marine Corps instead of the Air Force or the Navy. So my body's just giving out. But look at that one. I mean, the rotations are getting better. Hold on, I'll try to show you my first ones. That was my very first ones. That was me trying to do just straight up line work. Terrible. And this is day 2. Day 2 of doing this. So my plan is to get a pencil and some chalk and maybe some wax, and wax up one of these brass or copper pads here, and some chalk up the wax, right, so it stays on there, and then draw over the copper, and then maybe try to do a little picture or something out of there, and hopefully Well, hopefully I don't stab myself. Oh, that one's going to be good. I hope. That was a long one. But do a picture out of it. And then, first of everything always goes to my wife. That's always been the rule with me. First of everything always goes to her. So, obviously the first one I ever do will go to her. But then, may give one out. Just as a thank you. But also, I'm getting into engraving, but I want to incorporate it with my lapidary. You know what I mean? And let Laura use it however she wants to use it in her jewelry. Since this company is hers, you know, I just enjoy. Even at home, do y'all have this weird feeling that you cannot sit down? If you lay down, you're just wasting your life at any moment. I have that constantly. If I'm not constantly doing something, I'm always afraid I'm wasting part of my life. So even if I'm just like sitting down after a meal, right? Laying down after a meal, I'm constantly going, but I want to do this. And then my body's going, you don't want to do this because you're already worn out and tired. And I'm like, no, but I want to do this because I've also do not like sitting down. Can somebody type something in chat to make sure the chat hasn't froze up? Usually with Streamlabs, for some reason, chat will freeze up around an hour. And I'm hoping that ain't the case here. Because if it's frozen up, I won't be able to see anything come through. And if that's the case, I might have to go grab Laura's phone. So I can read whatever y'all put. I ain't seen nothing yet. Ow! Right again. Stabbed myself in the finger. Like a big old dummy. Ew. Stabbed myself in the finger. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to grab Laura's phone because I don't see nothing coming through. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Yeah, that was the case. That was the case. Sorry, I have to turn the volume off on her phone. The chat stopped for me. I don't know why. Every time I use Streamlabs, it does that. It's so weird. About an hour, it'll stop. There we go. She's moving. Yeah, so I got the chat back now. And it's just a quick little engraving break. I do so badly want to make, like, I just have these ideas of things I want to make, and I'm like, please God, just let me figure out a way in my head how to make it. And engraving is definitely one of those. I just want to make stuff that people are like, I want that. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, basically when it goes in like that, it's going to go in as far until it stops. And from my guess, it probably went like there. You know what I mean? But I don't even feel it, to be honest, anymore. Like, I have no, like, it doesn't even hurt. And it probably could be because, well, I cut gemstone knife handles, right? So whenever I'm working with the knife, like, I'm actually holding it like this because I have to work. Sorry, let me scooch out so y'all can see better. I'm holding the knife like this so I can actually rotate it. Now it does have tape on it, but still, if that machine slips or anything like that, it's gonna cut you a little bit. So I think it's that, and I've gotten used to it. And then, hold on, working with these, you know, believe it or not, when I'm filing and that thing goes in there, this leaves more blood, but this actually goes in farther because I'm actually pushing hard to try to get that thing to take away as much metal as quickly as possible, filing wise. So I'll tell y'all another thing. It's totally off topic, but it's just what come to my head. There is, look at that, like a big dummy. I went the other way with it because I'm a big dummy. I was thinking, man, that's sliding smooth. I don't know why it's not taking metal away either. NASCAR 2025 is going to be done by iRacing. And I'm excited for it, and I'm not excited for it. I'm excited for it because I really, really hope that we have like a true successor to NASCAR Thunder 2004. You know what I mean? Like a game that feels like, oh, this is like a modern NASCAR Thunder 2004. And none of the heats really did that for me, you know? So I'm kind of hoping that this does it. But it says you're going to be able to, you know, have your own garage and everything like that. It's all in the geometry. Skinny, round things poke better than flat, sharp things. That's true. That's true. That's true, pins and blade. It does indeed poke a lot better. But I'm hoping that NASCAR 2025 does indeed be the spiritual successor to NASCAR Thunder 2004. Right? They're saying you can start from ARCA and work your way up, which I'm kind of excited about, doing some starts from ARCA and working your way up. Doing the garages, owning your own teams, stuff like that. I'm excited about that. What I would really like, and I know this sounds weird, but what I would really like is if I could own my own team, own my own garages. I would actually like to own multiple cars for race week, right? And own like a Busch Series team. Even though I'm probably just going to race, you know, NASCAR. Like on an ARCA team. And I go scout for talent. This is one of the best drivers around, or this is, you know, I need to work on another spotter. I need to get a spotter for another car that I want in my garage. Well, I'm going to start up an ARCA team to train a spotter very well. You know what I'm saying? And then work him up through the area. Or work the driver and him up through the area so they have a built-up relationship. Like that kind of stuff I want in a NASCAR game. But you earn that money. I want you to earn that money. So whenever you come from it, you come from nothing. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of that they're going to do. I don't think they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to do to where you can have like drivers drive 4 cars you own in a specific team. So I don't know if they're going to let you become the new Richard Childress of racing. which I don't really watch modern racing anyways. You know, but who knows? I like the old racing. I know a lot of people's recently gotten kind of sour on Dale Earnhardt Sr. I'm still a huge Senior fan. I think Dale Earnhardt Sr. Races and Rusty Wallace and number 2 and number 3, them boys racing against each other. Them boys was, I'm telling you something now. Them fellas will get on it now. And I've been listening to Kenny Wallace. I like Kenny Wallace. That's Rusty Wallace's little brother, Kenny Wallace. And I've been listening to him. He's got a YouTube channel. I think it's just under Kenny Wallace. But it's like Coffee with Kenny in the morning. I like Kenny Wallace. I think he's a nice guy. And I'd like to, you know, it's funny. There was tickets. I can't, maybe Mom got them. Oh, take care, Pen. Don't be a stranger with me now. Hit me up sometime. But there was a time, and I don't know if Mom got these tickets, but huge Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan when I was little, and they were coming to Darlington, which is not too terribly far from us. So Grandpa and me were going to go, and we loved watching the race together. Grandpa weren't a big Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan, or Dale Earnhardt Sr. He was a huge Rusty Wallace fan. Loved Rusty. Loved him. And I loved Dale Earnhardt, so obviously we got back and forth with it. Well, maybe 3 or 4 days, I got the flu before the race. I was still wanting to go. I was still raring to go. You know what I mean? And, hold on. So we're going to go out this way. So, because I was sick, you know, they told me a story. Papa told me a story. He said, oh, no, I'm not going to go to a race. I'm not going to go to the race. And these were actually tickets to where you could like be in the pits with them. You could talk. You could go to their garages and talk with them and stuff. So, and the tickets I think we got was right behind Dale Earnhardt's pit area, like for the weekend. So, you know, they go on and they go to the race because they ain't going to miss it. And Grandma stayed at home with me. She's, now I don't know if Mom went or not. I just know I was at Grandma's at this time. And I was watching a race on TV. Well, he didn't go. Or at least I was told he didn't go. So I watched the race on TV. And I just kept going to my grandma. Oh, man, this sucks. I know I'm sick and everything. I was probably like 5 years old. But I really wanted to go. And I could have met Dale Earnhardt. And I was so excited about it. And then Grandpa's been gone all day. She goes, no, he went hunting, darling. He didn't go to the race without you. He went hunting. Come to find out, he comes home with all this merchandise. And I see it. I thought he weren't going to the race. Well, sweetheart, he did go. We just didn't want to tell you because you was sick. I hauled off and kicked her in the shin. I hauled off and kicked her in the shin. I said, that's for lying to me. And she went, ow. And because the pod come in and come out. When he come back in, my little tail got a butt cutting. Do not kick your crap. I was mad too, man. I'm telling you, don't you lie to me. That's what I said too. I said, don't you lie to me. I got a little butt cutting too, though. They made sure that I knew that wasn't gonna fly. So Oh, man. Those were the good old days, though. Those were the good old days. So away. So I'm going to have to do like this. I remember that till this day. I was so frustrated. I was so mad. Because I love Dale Earnhardt. I love Dale Earnhardt. And then whenever it come to wrestling, I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look at here. I about stabbed myself with that thing. Golly. Went right into the table mat. I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. And wrestling. That was my thing too. And before, I don't even think I remember like much before that. But and then just thinking about my childhood, I was going fishing with Dad, and we was in his little John boat, and I remember he had a 25 Mercury, and we was out fishing at the rice fields, and I'd watched Bill Dance that morning on the sports channel. I can't even remember what it was at that time. But I'd watched Bill Dance that morning. Well, watching Bill Dance, he says, oh yeah, predator fish, they love commotion in the water. They love it. Scares the little brim away, but those big fish, they love it because they want to find out what's thrashing and thrilling about, and they want to nab it. So we're at the rice fields, and I'm fishing in the back of the boat, and Dad's fishing with his other friends. He's in the front of the boat, and they got two more boats in front of us, and one on the side of us. It's like a big old convoy. We all went together. And I'm in the back of the boat, not bothering him in his hole. So he's just letting me do what I'm doing, but I'm smacking that pole in that water, right? Just making little ripples in the water. And he finally looked back. He said, son, what are you doing? I said, well, I heard it on Bill Dance that smacking stuff and making ripples in the water and stuff like that makes big fish want to come and bite. He goes, son, you're scaring away all the fish. Stop it. Okay. So I didn't smack my pole in the water anymore, but I kept my cork. I kept putting it back and down real quick to where I made those ripples. He says, son, I swear, if you do not stop, I'm going to come back there and I'm going to beat you so bad. And about that time, the pole bent. The pole bent. And Dad's, he carries on. He says, look at there, you done got hung up on the limb underneath there. He starts stomping his way back to the boat, and you can see the boat wiggling, just jiggling. And he starts stomping his way back there. And about that time, he sees that I'm fighting the fish. It ain't just went down and stayed down. That pole was going like this, like that. So he said, ho! He said, ho, son, really, man, don't lose him. Don't lose him, really, man. So about the time I reeled it, huge crappie. I'm talking about the width of him. I don't even know if I can. The width of him must have been the length of my hand. Huge old feller. Man, I pulled that thing out. And Dad's congratulating me now. He's about to murder me to congratulate me. The Lord looked out for me on that one. He went from about wanting to murder me to congratulate me. And then the fellas in the other boats was like, Bill Dance over there the whole day. They Bill Dance. And anytime I do something, and my daddy wanted to yell at me, or he would yell at me. And they'd be like, now stop it now. Don't mess with Bill Dance. He knows how to fish now. So, they'd be like, don't mess with Bill Dance now. He knows how to fish. I just remember that to this day. Oh, boy. So, we're going to go inward now. Towards. But I know it till this day. It was just the Lord taking care of me, stopping me from getting the butt cutting. And then we used to call him Mr. Cussy too. If we were out fishing, boy, howdy, my dad would cuss up a storm. Golly, would he'd let you have it, son. He'd like you, and he'd cuss you out 6 ways to Sunday. And I remember when he's out there. We used to call him Mr. Cussy. And then if my Uncle Joey was in the boat, like me and, we all went fishing together sometimes. Me and my cousin. My cousin's 6 months older than me. 6 months and 6 days older than me. And we would have fun. We'd be sitting in the back fishing. And you'd hear one, son of a mother. About Mr. Cussy's in your boat now. As soon as my dad started cussing, Bradley go, no, he's in your boat now. Mr. Cussy's over with you. Little did we know how aggravating we were to our parents at that time. To be in bliss in such a way. Speaking of little fellas, my little son is starting to cry now. I think he woke up from his napperoonie. And Lord's got him now. Just got to get this notch going. We're trying to do a tiger design on it. I'm trying to do a little tiger design on it. Just working on that right there. And I'm just trying to get it to look somewhat like tiger stripes. That's why it's so tough though. Because I have to work on this narrow bar. If anybody's got any questions, be sure to ask. Anything about lapidary or this, even though I'm not like the authority on filing stuff, I can definitely help somewhere with it. Boy, that rain's coming down hard. That, and we had a dog named Major. I didn't have him. Grandpa had him. We had a dog named Major, and then I think I only called her Missy, but I think her name was Lassie. It was a lab and one of those long-haired dogs mix. I can't remember. But it was just like Lassie. She kind of looked like Lassie, just black labbish, And one day we were out hunting. I don't know what kind of hunting it was, but we were out there hunting. Maybe quail? But nevertheless, he sent one of them to go out there and get a quail that was down. Now, we're out there hunting in this field with some people Papa knew, and then some people Papa didn't know. They just come along with the other group of people. And somebody he shot. Lassie went and grabbed a bird. And then come back. He hungry? Is he hungry?
Yes, he's crying. I'm trying to hurry. That's why I'm not talking.
Well, that's fine. That's okay. I love you. I'll be done in a minute. But, yeah, so, Lassie come back with the bird. Well, I don't know if this person didn't know that when Papa brought his bird dog, he would just gather the birds and go, who got, you know, who shot this bird, who shot that bird, around what time, and then people claim their birds, you know. But he just send the dog out to get him as a courtesy, right? You ain't got to walk out in the field. If you scare up some birds while you're walking out there and somebody shoots, you got less of a chance to get shot. Well, somebody hollered at, I'm going to kill that dog if they hit that bird. And Pa said, you kill that dog and I'll kill you. Didn't hear nothing else. He didn't like nobody messing with that dog now. He loved her. The Lassie and Major, he loved both of them. And then I remember after Major was the last one to die. After Major died, he went, I don't want no more dogs. He said, I can't do it no more. Which I think it just broke his heart, what happened. You know, I think it just ruined him a little bit, which is understandable. You know, I love dogs, I really do. Whenever they say they're man's best friends, I can't disagree with it. But it sure sucks to lose one. And I love them. Move this a little further this way. But on to a happier note, we're going to Franklin this year. Hopefully we can get some more footage of some of the dinosaur bones and stuff like that, and meteorites and all kinds of different gemstones. Even if, you know, most people don't, you know, be something. And even if we can't, then I might just do like a haul video is what they call them, I think. Is where you show everybody what you got while you were gone and bring it back and kind of, I guess for y'all, be an unboxing. I don't know what they call it. But just kind of show you everything we got. And we also planned on getting some, like going to some of the local touristy mining places and doing some buckets again like that. And bringing some buckets home, like the buy bags and bring them home. Bring some home and then like do a video of us sifting through the buckets. And then after we're done sifting through the buckets, seeing if there's any stones that we can fasten. Maybe give some of those away. Would be pretty cool. So, but that's where we're going to leave it for today. I hope everybody had a good time watching, listening to me ramble a bit. Because Lord knows I know how to do that. And yes, I did stab myself today, unfortunately, on accident. So, everybody got their wishes. But, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end out on a prayer. So everybody who would like to, bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I'd like to ask you to look after everybody who's joined us today, who's watched us today. Even the people who haven't just scrolled on by, please look after them. If anybody is in this chat, in this room, that has been in this chat or in this room, that is not saved, I pray that they get a closer relationship with you and do become saved. Because through you, Jesus is the only way through the kingdom, into the kingdom. I mostly want to thank you for your sacrifice upon the cross. I want to thank Jesus for his sacrifice upon the cross, his resurrection, his fulfilled prophecies, the blood that he shed to wash away our sins and to make us clean and able to enter through the gates. But most importantly, Heavenly Father, I want to say, let your will be done. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, everybody. I hope everybody has a great time. Take care. Be safe. God bless. And just like my old preachers used to say, as much as I love you, God loves you more. See you next week.